Hello everyone, I'm Siddharthan. Currently, we are in the 8th module of our machine learning course. In this module, we will be discussing about topics such as cross-validation, hyperparameter tuning, and model evaluation. These are some of the most important topics in machine learning. And the first video in this topic will be k-fold cross-validation. This is a conceptual video, and once we understand the concepts clearly, we will move on to the hands-on part in the next video where we will implement this k-fold cross-validation in Python. So let's get started. So first of all, I'll just give you a formal definition on what is meant by k-fold cross-validation. So in k-fold cross-validation, we basically split the dataset into k number of folds, or you can think about these folds as subsets. One chunk of data is used as test data for evaluation, and the remaining part of the data is used for training the model. And each time a different chunk will be used as the test data. So this is the formal explanation for this k-fold cross validation. And if you don't understand what this definition means, it's all fine. So I'll explain you clearly what this means, and we will also be taking some example and understanding what this basically means, right? So I hope that by this point you would know what is meant by train test split and what is meant by evaluating our model. So you can think about this k-fold cross validation in which we will be doing a kind of train test split and model evaluation in a single step, but in a more better and efficient manner. Okay, so you can think about this like this. So let's try to understand this with an example. So let's say that we have a data set. So this can be any data set. So it can be the diabetes prediction data set where you have data about people with diabetes and people without diabetes, and there can be many factors such as their age, BMI, blood sugar level, etc. Okay, and let's say that there are about 1,000 data points that are present in this data set. And when we do train test split, so within this 1,000 data points, we will take 80% of the data as training data and 20% of the data as test data, where this 80% of the training data will be used to train our model and the 20% remaining data will be used to test our model, right? So everyone knows up to this point. So instead of doing this train test split, what we will do is, so while using this k-fold cross validation, we give some value for this k. Okay, so generally we give the value as 5 or 10. So it's the general thumb rule. So let's say that we are giving the k value as 5. So now what happens is this data set will be splitted into 5 chunks, or you can call this as folds. So this is the technical term that is used. So hence this is called as k-fold cross validation. Again, when we talk about cross validation, there are different types, and one of the mainly used type is k-fold cross validation. And in the end of this video, I'll tell you what are all the different types. So we have k number of folds, and now when the k value is 5, we will be splitting the data set into k number of folds. Okay, and you can see here, so we have 5 folds here, right? So here we have 5 iterations on the first iteration. So let's say that the fifth chunk of data or the fifth fold of data will be used as a test data set. Okay, so as I've told you, let's assume that there are 1,000 data points. So if we split it into 5 folds, and each fold will in that case contain 200 data points, right? Because 5 into 200 will be 1,000, the entire data points number. So each fold will have 200 data points, and this fifth chunk will be used as the test data for the first iteration. Let's say that we are using the logistic regression model for all the iterations. So for the first iteration, our logistic regression model will be trained with all these 4 chunks of training data, and once the training is completed, it will be tested on the test data. This is the first iteration. And for the second iteration, the fourth fold of the data, or you can think about this as the fourth chunk of data. So this fourth subset of the data will be used as the test data, and the remaining data will be used as the training data. So this is the procedure. For the third iteration, this third chunk will be used as test data, and for the fourth iteration, the second fold is used as the test data, and the remaining data is training data, and so on. So similarly, we have 5 iterations. So the number of folds of your data is probably equal to the number of iterations that you have. Okay, and what we will do is, in each step we will try to find the accuracy of the model on test data. Okay, so as we know that once we train our model, we will evaluate our model using the test data, right? And we, if it is a classification problem, we may get accuracy like 80% or 90% or 95%. So 90% accuracy means out of 100 data points, your model can predict correctly for 90 data points out of 100. So that is called as 90% accuracy, right? So for each iteration, we will try to get this accuracy score, and once we have all this 5 accuracy score, we will take the average of that accuracy score, and this will be the final accuracy score. Whereas if we think about train test split, what we will do is we will just take the entire data as I've told you before. So 80% of the data will be training data and 20% of the data will be your test data, right? So if we think about this number, the training data will be 800 and the test data will be 200, right? So the advantage of k-fold cross validation is like you are testing your model with different chunks of data or different data points. So I'll explain you what is the advantage with an analogy or an example. Let's say that a student, an higher secondary student is preparing for his JEE exam or something, and we know that there is physics subject is there, chemistry is there, and so on. Let's say that there is a chapter called as semiconductors, which we all would have studied, right? And that particular student has studied all the concepts and formulas, and now we are going to test him based on the previous year questions. Okay, and let's say that in the question bank there are about 200, or let's say that there are about 100 total previous year questions that are based on the chapter semiconductors. Now let's say that we are taking the entire 100 questions. So out of those 100 questions, we are going to test that particular student on 20% of data. So out of the 100 questions, we will be asking only 20 questions to him, and we will check how he is performing on those 20 questions, right? And let's say that he has answered correctly for 15 questions out of that particular 20 questions, and now we will try to evaluate him and what is his percentage and so on. Now the problem with this approach is that particular student has seen only that 20 percentage of data. This is probably not a good evaluation metric. Whereas let's say that we are subjecting that particular student to different set of questions, so it would give a more reliable idea on how much he has understood that particular subject, right? So that is the same idea here. So when you have a small data set, when you just use train test split function, your model will be evaluated on a very small portion of your data, and we cannot use that as the proper accuracy score. Whereas if we use k-fold cross validation, we kind of use different test data for each training session. Okay, and when you add that 5 accuracy score, so we will get a more reliable score. So that is the idea behind it. And another thing that you need to note here is, so once you are, let's say that you are training your model for this first iteration, where this fifth chunk of your data is the test data. So after that iteration, so that is like and once we find this accuracy score, that is all that we are doing. So we will create a new instance of the logistic regression model, and we will train that with the test data. So here you need to understand that we are not training the same model which has been already trained for the second iteration. So we have to use a new instance of that particular model. So this is very, very important, because like let's say that you are using the same model, same trained model. So in that case, there is a possibility that that model has already seen the data that is present in this test, right? So the model already know what is present in this test data, because this is the training data in the previous step. So I hope you understand this. I'll just quickly repeat this particular thing, because it is very, very important. Let's say that we are training our logistic regression model with this first iteration, and in this case, the first 4 chunks of data are your training data, and the final fifth chunk is your test data. If you use the same model for training on top of it, now the model knows what this test data is, because it has already trained on that particular chunk. So in each iteration, we will create a new instance of that logistic regression model, or whatever model we are using, and test it for different accuracy score with different test data. So this is very important. Okay, now you will get a reliable score. So the basic idea is, you need to check whether your model is performing on the overall data set. So that's the idea behind this. And one of the main applications and where we use this k-fold cross validation is when it comes to model selections. Let's say that we have this support vector machine and logistic regression, and for a particular case or a particular data set, we want to determine which model is the most efficient and which model is the accurate one. Okay, so in that case, instead of going with a single train test split and a single evaluation metric, which is accuracy score, we can use k-fold cross validation, and it will give a more reliable accuracy score or evaluation metric. So that's the idea. And let's consider an example. So similarly, let's say that we have a data set, and let's say that this is our the same diabetes data set that we have been working on lately. So it is a famous data set, so we all know that, right? So we have the diabetes data set, and and let's say that the k fold or the k value is 5, and we are going to implement this k fold cross validation. And first we are using a support vector machine. So first we will load an instance of this support vector machine, and training with the first 4 folds or 4 chunks. Here I mean fold and chunks, which basically mean the same meaning here. here. Okay, so we are taking the first four folds or the chunks of data as training data and the fifth chunk of data as the test data, and then we will calculate the accuracy for this particular case. So the accuracy on test data, which is very important, and not on training data. And the second iteration, we will load a new instance of the support vector machine model, and now the fourth chunk of data will be your test data, and the remaining data will be used as the training data. Now let's say that the accuracy score is 83%. So your accuracy will definitely change because here the test data is different, okay, and the training data is again different. So there will be a slight change in your accuracy. In most cases the accuracy change won't be that much, but in some cases where the data set is very complex, and when some of the data are missed in this split and all that, so there will be a significant change in this accuracy. So let's say the accuracy in the second iteration is 83%, and in the third iteration where this third chunk is used as the test data, let's say the accuracy is 86, and for the fourth iteration, let's say it's 81, and the final iterations it's 84. So as you can see here, there is a slight change in accuracy. So instead of taking one accuracy, which we will do while we are using train test bed, so in k-fold cross validation we will take all this accuracy score into consideration, and we will divide it by 5. So because there are totally 5 accuracies, so we are just taking the mean accuracy of all the accuracy values, and the average of this particular accuracy will be 84.4%. So you can say that the reliable accuracy score value for this support vector machine for this particular data set is 84.4%. So once we do this with the support vector machine, we will do the same procedure with a logistic regression model. Okay, so every procedure is the same. So in this case, now we have 90% accuracy for the first iteration, and the second iteration it's 88, third is 86%, 91, and 85. So these are all the 5 accuracy score we are getting for logistic regression, and in this case, let's say that the mean accuracy is 88%. Now we can compare this accuracy with the mean accuracy of a support vector machine model, and we can say, and we can basically compare them and say, in this case the logistic regression model works well. So this is one of the things that we do while we are selecting the model. So when it comes to model selection, there are apart from this cross validation, there are also other things that we need to consider, so which we will discuss in the upcoming videos. For now, understand that this can be used as one of the steps in the model selection procedure, where we need to select which is the more optimum model for your particular data set. So here we can say that the average accuracy for the support vector machine model for a particular data set is 84.4%, whereas the mean accuracy or the average accuracy for logistic regression model is 88%. So we can say that this is the best model for this particular case. Okay, so this is how we use cross validation in order to select our model. Now let's try to understand what are all the advantages of, or what are all the pros of using this k-fold cross validation. The first step is, it's a better alternative for train test split when the data set is small. So this is very, very important. So if you, let's say that you have a very large data set, so let's say that that particular data set has about 10,000 data points or 1 lakh data points or something like that. So in that case, you can actually go with the train test split, because the test data set will contain a huge proportion of the data, even for 20% of the data. Okay, so if you think about 20% of data for the 10,000 data points, or 20% data for 1 lakh data points, that is pretty large. Okay, so in large scale data sets, you can actually go with train test split, whereas if your data set is a small, then k-fold cross validation is a better idea, because in that case you can check how your model is performing for the overall data set and so on. And the other reason k-fold cross validation is not advisable for large data set is because, so when your data set is large, the training is going to take a long time, right? So in that case, k-fold cross validation is not a proper step, because like each iteration may take several hours for training that particular model, and we cannot train the model for 5 iterations if we don't have that much training time and so on. So it is a trade-off between the amount of time that you can spend and the data set and other things and so on. So it is a trade-off between time and the accuracy of the model. So that is what I would say. So if it is a small data set, then k-fold cross validation is actually a better idea. It's up to you. So if you have good amount of time, you can actually use k-fold cross validation in large data set itself, but it is as I've told you, it's completely up to you, whichever you can use. But k-fold cross validation is always a better idea when we compare it to train test split. So this is one advantage when we use small data set. You can just think about the JEE example that I've told you. where the student will be tested on different questions from that particular chapter. So that is one example, and it is better for multi-class classification problem. Again, so let's say that there is some mathematics exam has been going on, and the subjects are, let's say, statistics and algebra. So if we just split it like train test split, there is a chance that all the data points in the test data set will contain algebra questions, and there will be a very small amount of statistics questions. So that is not as advisable, right? So in that case, again, k-fold cross validation is advisable. And as I've told you, there are different types of cross validation. So one is k-fold cross validation, and another widely used cross validation technique is stratified k-fold cross validation, in which the split of the data will be in the similar proportion. So let's say that we have two classes. One is a person with diabetes, and the next class is person without diabetes. So the proportion of the classes in training data and the test data will be similar to the proportion of your classes in the original data set. Okay, so let's say that you have 750 data points for person with diabetes and 250 people without diabetes in a particular data set. So in this case, the proportion is 3:1 for the two classes, right? So when you use stratified k4, the proportion will be the same for training and the test data set itself, which is like more advisable. So your training data will contain 3:1 ratio of people with diabetes and people without diabetes data points, and again it will be the same for test data. So we can actually do that for train test split as well. So we know that we have this train test split function in sklearn.model selection. So in that we can use an attribute called as a stratify, and in stratify we give that value as y. So I'll explain you in the next video about this stratify example in train test split, and if time permits, I'll also explain you how a stratified k-fold function works in Python. So we'll look into it, but again, it is better suited for multi-class classification when the data set is small. So it is more advisable compared to the train test split, and again it is more reliable. So instead of just giving one accuracy score, we can find the accuracy for different iterations and different splits of the data, and we can give the mean accuracy, which will be a more reliable value on this accuracy. And it is useful for model selection. As I've told you, instead of taking train test split and one accuracy score, we can use this k-fold cross validation to get a more reliable accuracy score, and we can select the model based on this particular mean accuracy score. So these are all some of the main advantages of k-fold cross validation, and in the next video we will try to understand how we can implement this in Python. Okay, so that's it from my side for this particular video, and I'll see you in the next upload. Thanks for watching.